Hello and welcome to Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. Good morning if you're watching from Nigeria or anywhere that is morning and if you're watching from any other part, yes, good day. Anyway, it's a bright new day in Nigeria and we are here because we want to impart in a relaxed manner. My name is Ronke Ashiru and
I am Uraola Popola.
Ura, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. I am good. How are you?
You are
today?
all monochrome today.
Yes, black and white, black and white.
Yes,
black and white, black and white. Yes.
I'm very sure your bag is white and black too.
Don't be too sure about that.
So, yeah, what do we have today?
Okay, today we'll be talking about agriculture, and we have an Agripreneur in the house.
All right.
But we're not going to tell them yet.
Yeah, who that is?
So when we come back from short break, then we'll introduce our guest to everyone watching.
You know, a lot of times when you hear of agriculture, you think of maybe illiterate.
Yes, when you hear agriculture, most parents do not want to even hear their children say, I want to become a farmer.
Exactly.
There's this song we do sing, standard living, standard living.
Exactly.
Standard living, standard living. And most of the professions you hear when they're singing that song,
I'm
a doctor in my country. Everybody knows me, man. You never hear them say, I'm a farmer
in my country.
So we're here to actually correct that notion that agriculture is an important factor. And being a farmer does not mean that you won't be rich. Or there are influential farmers out there, and I'm sure our guests will be able to shed more light on that.
All right. Okay. I don't want us to talk too much now. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we will introduce our guest to you. Today, we're talking about Agripreneur. We'll be right back.
You think about it. There's a lot to celebrate in our lives. From the smallest milestones to our biggest moments, we'll pamper you at High Impact Planet. Whatever the occasion, let's celebrate you at High Impact Planet, where fun just got real.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Tea or Coffee on your #1 television station, Full HD, first Full HD television in Nigeria. Like we said earlier, we are going to be talking about agriculture, and we have an agripreneur in the house. So I'm going to hand over to Ronke to introduce our guest and let the cat out of the bag.
All right. Why me?
Because it's you. Or do you want me to do that?
Okay. Give me the honor.
Okay.
All right.
Should you want me to give you ginger?
Okay.
All right,
go ahead.
let's go. So we have in the house, I'm your hype man now.
Okay.
We have in the house, Mrs. Ronke Ashiru. No, I'm not doing that.
You just did.
So introduce our guest.
All right, our guest is a graduate of Yaba Tech, studied statistics and mathematics, and later went to London School of Economics. He also studied at Rhodes University, South Africa, statistics and mathematics, and also in Bermuda also. And right now he's taking his PhD on divinity. Who are we talking about? Our guest for today is Oshoke Williams. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Only you.
All of those attributes.
Only you. What happened?
Well, you have time. When you have time, you use it well.
All
That's
right.
all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that being a farmer, that you spend so much in the farm.
Well, when I finished college, I actually wanted to be a farmer.
Okay.
You know, I started out trying to be a farmer. So I also went to take a diploma in livestock farming. You know, those days, so many years back, over 25 years ago, Lagos State has this livestock school, you know, somewhere in Okwaba. So I went there did a 9-month course on livestock and animal husbandry, and I felt that it's time for me to start the farming. But as it is, a young man, you want to do the things that your peers are doing. And of course, you found yourself in the corporate organization, and from there, you were not able to do the farming at that time.
All
You
right.
wanted to put on the white shirt and, the era of the
And the
finance
suit,
house
yes.
and,
Yes.
and all that. So I was derailed for a bit, and over time I found myself back in it, and I went into livestock farming basically, and I've been on and off it. But right now, because I'm fully back in Nigeria, I'm now doing it fully.
Okay.
That's how it is.
All right. So, why livestock?
Well, I'm into not only livestock, but I started out with livestock.
Okay.
And
And what are we talking about? The
birds,
Birds?
poultry,
Okay.
poultry basically. And really, because of my belief system and where I draw inspiration from, I wanted to be a rich man,
Okay.
and going through the book I read, I found out that most of the characters that are in that book were farmers, and
All right.
they were rich, and that's where I really drew my inspiration from. And not only read, but they were impactful in all the other things they do. Because really, if you have to be a livestock farmer, that means that you care about living
The welfare
things.
of people.
So you are going to be very caring about your environment. So I think that was the inspiration, and that's why I was doing it, and that's why I'm still in it.
Okay, that takes me to the question that you mentioned that you read in a book and you realized that most of the farmers that they talked about in the book were rich. So most people nowadays think that farming or being a farmer is
It's a
there's
poor man's
a
thing.
yes,
Yes.
it has to do with poverty. Like there is no good thing about it. It's as bad as even in Yoruba land to insult someone. You say agbe, like see how
He
he's
looks like
dressed
a
like, and
farmer.
see how he's dressed like a farmer.
Well,
Things like that. So how have you been able to stand out to correct such
That impression.
mindset and negative mindset?
Well, it's a mindset. And, if you want to look back to generations before us, really, you find out that because of that mindset, and what Western education brought, Western education actually derailed people from that mindset and thinking that if you are a farmer, and, then farming was basically subsistence. It wasn't commercial farming.
Yes.
So because it wasn't commercial farming, a lot of people just felt that, look, you just farm, if you get, then the way they do it, you have to marry as many wives as you
Yeah, as
can
possible.
Yeah.
and have a lot of children so that they can, well, you have technology now and you can multiply whatever you're doing. Even in a very small piece of land, you can actually multiply what you're doing now. So it's totally different. The world today is different, and when you view, I say to people basically that, you see, in farming, that's one industry that you comprises of all the other disciplines that you can think of. You can be in that farming industry, you employ engineers, you employ doctors, you employ lawyers, you employ
Doctors in farming.
Yeah, you have vet
Vet
doctors.
doctors.
Oh.
You have, all the disciplines that you can think of can actually work in the farming industry.
Even statistics, you need to calculate.
Yes.
Mathematics.
Yes. And I just tell people basic, just to get them interested in it. I said, look, It's very easy, Well, it's a difficult season that we have now, in the country. But it's really easy if you look at it from another angle. I mean, they say probably they don't have the correct figures for Lagos State, maybe 20 million, maybe 22 million and all that. And you look at it averagely, how much do you use to feed, averagely in a day? Let's look at it. Maybe, some people use 2,000, some people use 5,000, some people use 200. Let's just cut an average of 500, and you look at 500 times 20 million people. That probably gives you like 2 billion or so, now every day. That's the kind of money that runs around in Lagos every day. So what are you going to take out of that billion? What is your share of that? Is it 2 billion or 20 billion now? What is your share on a daily basis? And that's food. And where do you get that from? Farming. So it's so easy, to look at it from another angle. And you find out that, hey, come on, this is an industry that you really want to be, And me being someone that I'm very analytical, and I look at maybe in the next 10 years, the proportion of what we produce and the way our population is increasing, there'll probably be a food crisis in the next 10, 15 years. So if you're smart now...
Well, the thing is, when I was younger,
Okay.
you would see that most houses,
Okay.
they will have a little garden in the compound.
Yeah.
But right now, go to maybe 80% of those buildings
Homes,
now
yeah.
will have
Paving stones.
So, and then you realize that traveling through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway before, like 15 years ago, what you will see? Farmlands and trees and all that. But now, filled with houses. So where do you get the lands that you use? And if people want to start those business, where can they get lands? Because right now it seems as if lands, they're very expensive.
Expensive, yes.
Well, I'll say this. You see, the farming industry is very large and wide.
Okay.
Primary farming is a chain. Depending on the where you want to lock into. You have distribution, you have warehousing, you have retailing, you have packaging. Do you understand? So depending on which area, some people don't need a plot of land to be a farmer. Do you understand? Because immediately you say farming, people just think of land.
Yes.
Where am I going to get the land from? But you know what? The industry also need people that will take the food from the site, the farm, to the city. That's business. That's transportation.
Yes.
Do you understand? Storage, warehousing. The farmers need where to keep those things for distribution.
Yes.
That's another business. Packaging. That's another business. So farming is not just about having, in fact, the technology now, you can actually farm without land.
Really?
Yes.
How?
You
How
can.
is that done?
You can actually use. There's vegetable farming that you can actually use your fence. Your perimeter fencing to do your farming.
Wow.
There's so many ways of farming now that can give you the required returns, depending on what you have projected. Yes, Nigeria has, a lot of arable land. Everywhere you go, there is land. Really, it's just that the desire to convert the land Do you understand?
Yes.
To make it productive is not really in there because people think, oh, it's too expensive to do this.
Yes.
You know, why I probably have to get a tractor and all that stuff. But you see, you can always sectionalize. You can always start. You know, farming is not microwave business. You know, you don't get into farming and become, you know, it's not magic. It's a process.
Yes.
It takes time.
Okay.
You know, you need to be passionate about it. You need to love it. You know, yes, there's this fad, this sell around. Oh, everybody get into farming. You get into farming, you'll go out. Because if you're not trained and if you're not patient, you think a lot of investors are actually, some investors that I know are leaving because they did not plan properly.
Okay, you were talking about training.
Yes.
I was thinking that we started farming, so why should we train? Is there a particular way that we do things now that is different from how we used to do?
Yes, because if you want better yield, you must
Yes.
find out how to have better yield.
All right.
You know, some people, maybe an acre of land will yield 3 times what you're having now if you put the proper technology into it. So you need the training. And moreover, you find out that if you don't train the farmer to use the tractor, and you, like government, we have provided tractors, you need to train who is going to use the tractor, or else the tractor will not produce results.
Okay. All right.
That's why you need
The tractor
training.
will not produce. You need to
results.
train.
You need
So
to
that
train.
means we have a lot of things to learn about farming.
Agriculture
And
and
agriculture is not just
Yes.
something I can just go into.
No. I
into
trained,
the-
and
All
I
right.
keep training.
Okay, all right. Then we need to ask how you get the training and what are the steps, the basic steps you need to learn. But that will be after the break. We've been talking with Oshoke Williams, and he's been educating us on Agripreneur. We need to go on a break, and when we come back, we'll continue.
If you're just joining us, it's still Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. We've been speaking with Oshoke Williams, an agripreneur. So what are the basic steps you need to take to be a trained farmer?
Yeah, well, these days it's very easy, you know. You can actually sit with your internet and YouTube, you know, and get a full course on whatever aspect of farming you desire. But it's also good to find a training center, you know, because sometimes you need practical input in the training, you know. So don't just sit with the YouTube, you know. You can, and they're very, I mean, they're very good centers, you know. You can find, you know, and even of course people go to university to do fisheries, you know, all kinds of.
Yeah, that leads me
different
to this
trainings,
question.
yes.
A lot of times you know, there are messages that have been sent on social media pages and all that. Don't eat this, don't eat that. They put something here to grow this one, and it's
Yes.
harmful to the health and all that. Oh, you're laughing already. So,
Especially apple.
apple and
And it
all
scares
that.
people away from these things.
Yes, and some people believe that all those things that we put, like you said, that something, maybe a plot of land that on a normal day you get 50 tubers of yam. There's something you do to it, and then you get 150. That those products becomes harmful. What's your take on that?
Well, first and foremost,
Yeah.
you have different marketing strategies. You have different brands trying to, you know, scare people from other brands.
Okay.
You know, sometimes some of those things are actually marketing wars. You know, yes, they are hybrid. They are all, you know, the technology that.
You said some, not all.
Not all.
Okay.
Not all, and you find out that because of the kind of the jet age that we are in now, people want things just like that. So they have found ways of multiplying, you know, having a multiplier effect on whatever production they are doing. But really, I just tell people, just be, it's nature. Just be natural. Don't, you know, it's just like exercise. I tell people, you don't need to take all these pills to just go out, take a walk, eat right, and you'll be fine. You know, you know, you don't need all these kind of supplements to lose weight. But you know, people have to sell these things. You know, so they bring it up and they wrap it up with all kinds of stuff.
So in other words, that are supplement supplement for.
Yes,
soil
I mean,
that are
for instance,
harmful.
in poultry,
Okay.
you have birds that you'll be shocked in 6 weeks they're as big as this. You know, because of the kind of formulation of the feed that you use. You
And
know,
which is harmful
well,
to the health?
well, if it's harmful, I don't think it will be in the market, especially in America, you know, because they have quality control.
Yes.
Do you understand? You know, but it's just the amount of it that you take and going through instructions and all that, taking those things. Every food is, you know, if you have to have different proportions of it.
Yes.
If you take too much of it, it will really be harmful.
Yeah.
You know, so just look for the natural ones and you'll be fine.
Okay, so there are natural, what you're saying now that there are natural.
Preferably for me.
Okay, preferably for you.
Yes.
So in other words, okay, you're saying there are natural ones that are good, that will make you even yield maybe times 2 or times
Yes,
3.
yes, yes.
Well, there are some that are also will make you yield more
Yeah.
and might be harmful.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me be a little bit funny.
Okay.
Let me put it this way.
Okay,
You know.
let's see if we will laugh.
Because I'm laughing
No.
already.
I'm not even trying to go that route.
Okay.
You know, I'm not trying to make you laugh.
Okay.
But because I need to, the people that make people laugh, they get paid very well. You know, except you're willing to do that. However, it's just like what you see these days. You know, you look at somebody. You know, you look at the female gender, and the hair is not hers. The eyelashes is not hers. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we
You
get it.
get-
So,
yeah.
okay,
understand.
so what's the point?
Well, the point is that you're selling a product that really, you know what I mean.
Okay.
So every industry is looking for how to make their product pretty,
Yes.
so that it can be easy to the eyes,
Okay.
you know, and pleasing to the eyes. And they want to give you a good product. And people have different ways and methods of going about that. But when you want to do health, you know what to do when you want to do health. When you want, okay, this product is good for me. I believe that there's nothing that God has created in terms of herbs and greeneries and poultry that is not good for human consumption, you know.
Okay.
But it is the quantity and how you prepare it that at the end of the day
Okay.
will make the difference.
Okay, so what is the place of technology in agriculture?
Well, a lot.
Okay.
A lot. It's make the life easier. You know, it makes the work not too hectic. You know, it's just like you know, I was in the era of when there were no emails. I was in the era when there were no mobile phones. Do you understand?
Yes.
and we want to talk to people abroad, we have to probably go to Lagos, to Nitel. You know, that's what it was called at that time, to make the international call. Now, right, you have your device, and you can do, you know, people get their fertilizers, you know, by just having alerts that your fertilizers have arrived. Before, you probably have to go and queue for days, you know, and all that. So it has made a lot. You have better production time and value for money.
Okay,
You were talking about tractorial too. So you need to get those, or do you rent?
There are different ways. Of course, you have people that put it out for rent. You don't, depending on the structure you have, depending on your financial capabilities, but things can be spread out. You know, you have people that are, you see, in farming, you have people that are strictly, you know, a rental company. They have all the machinery that you require. And you just tell them, we're using this for a day, we're using it for 2 days. You pay for it. You don't really need to have that financial outlay to procure all those things.
Right.
You just, because you don't need them all the time.
Okay.
So, but there are some people that have invested in that because they know that several farmers require it. So they spread it out. They rent it out. You know, provide service. There's so many service providers for farmers.
Oh, okay.
Today.
So, in your own opinion, what do you think, how has agriculture been able to contribute to the economic growth of the society?
Just look at you. Look at yourself. Look at how glowing.
Okay.
It's the food you eat.
Okay.
You know, I mean, the GDP, I think, of Nigeria, I mean, the agricultural sector right now is making a great impact. You know, before we used to talk about oil and all that. Now, I don't have the exact figures, but it has made tremendous impact in our GDP.
Okay, you know, when we talk about farming, most people have this idea and mentality that you're basically talking about food items like crops, rice, beans, and all of that. So what are the other branches and types of farming we have apart from cropping?
I think I've touched that. When you say other types of farming, I didn't get that. You mean other things that you can
Other
do?
things, yes, other parts of
agriculture.
agriculture.
Which I said there's a chain.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked about transportation, I've talked about warehousing, I've talked about distribution, I've talked about processing. For instance, if you're a poultry farmer, you don't have to wait for Easter season or Christmas season to sell your birds. You know, you can get into processing. You know, processing, you clean up your birds, you know, and you bag them, you label them, and you put them in stores. Do you understand? You know, and a lot of people are doing that now. You know, and poultry also, you know, is divided into two. You can decide that, oh, you just want to be a producer of eggs. You just want to, so you get the type of bird, which is the layers, that will produce the eggs for you. You might want to go to the meat, which is the broilers, that, you know, every 8 weeks, you can always churn out your birds. And you can get into processing. And in processing also, you are involving other aspects, other people, you know. You're getting machinery for that. You're getting a machine, it's somebody that will operate it. You're getting a cold room for that. You're going to clean it up. You're going to engage the package industry because they're going to produce for you. You know, you're going to brand yourself. You understand? You're going to, you know, so there's so many aspects of it that you can do. But I tell people, don't just produce the primary way. Farming is adding value. If you want to make money in farming, then you add value to whatever you're doing.
Okay, like it's rightly said that we have over 180 million people in Nigeria. Do you think that our agricultural level right now is enough to feed the country? And do you think we have enough land and government support?
We have more than enough land, more than enough.
Okay.
In fact, Africa has, I think, 60, 50% or thereabout arable land in the world. We have Nigeria, arable land is everywhere. Do you understand? So the land is not an
That's the
issue.
problem. Okay.
I think the issue, where people should concentrate more on, is really the storage, the processing, the keeping of the things that we have produced. For instance, in the U.S., you have the government. They are involved. They buy it off the farmers, and they store it.
Okay.
Do you understand? Right now we have people that are already having silos for maize. They're investing in that.
In Nigeria?
Of course. You have that going
for
on.
the perishables, I guess that we need to do a lot of things. When you go to, there's a place in Lagos, K2, that's where the first point of perishables, tomato and all that. When you go there in the evening, you will see piles of
wasted.
Ones.
Yes, that's
tomatoes, pepper, fruits.
That's where
The season not determine that also.
Sorry?
The season.
Exactly.
So you see that's where we need to put more of our energy, and that's where we need to put our thinking caps on how to preservation.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Do we have any at all?
Yeah,
for
we do,
perishables
but it is not enough.
by government or
No,
individual?
by individuals. But now that there are a lot of funds that you can access. There are funds, there are grants, that
Really?
Yes, that you
Where
you
and
can.
how?
Okay. I don't want to. The government institutions have to pay me for doing adverts.
We need to bring them to this program.
Yes, you
so
need
they can
to, so
elaborate
that
more.
Yes.
they need to pay you for trying to put them out there. So
Okay.
it's not for free, But they have funds that government have made available at very low digits interest rates that people can access, support, and it's not very tedious in accessing those funds. It's just an issue of information, having the right information on where to go to access it. And we're in a country that people get these funds. For instance, you get maybe 5 million, and you go and buy
A car.
a car. Do you understand? You don't need a car. You need, probably a processing machine, and all that. The car will eventually come.
Exactly.
But we are not wired. Some of us are not wired that way, But education, reorientation, and making the information available will help in that area where we see people that want to go into the business of preservation. It's a lot of money in that business, a lot of money, in that business. And I can tell you, over 60% of what they bring in go to waste, which is, why would you go through all that and you can't? So that's why you find food a little bit expensive, But if we get into that preservation aspect of farming, then we will find out that it's better for everybody. Nigeria is blessed. In fact, Nigeria, I tell you, is one of, sometimes I say it's the most blessed nation in the world, because there is nothing that you're looking for in terms of mineral that you don't find
Exactly. There was a time
in Nigeria.
Yes, I went to the northern part of the country, and there, Irish potato, a bag, it was a long time ago, a bag was 200 naira.
A bag.
A bag of Irish potato
Wow.
was 200 naira. And then back to Lagos, 4 pieces of the same
Irish potato.
Irish potato, 200 naira. Because at the end of the day, I actually spoke with one of those that brings it down to Lagos. She said that when you get a trailer load, by the time you get to Lagos, 10-hour journey. By the time you get to Lagos,
You have
Well,
to
one
calculate
thought.
all of that.
That's all
thank
you
God
have.
the trains are working now.
Yes. Maybe
You know,
things will
you know,
be-
before you had the trains, you know,
Okay.
you know, and basically it's the mode of transportation, you know, and all that stuff. If that's where government comes in, you know, putting in the infrastructure, you know, for those things to get to the marketplace as fast as, you know, and
Yeah.
effective as it should be. So, you know, you find out that most of other things will be eliminated if we can get those tracks, if we can get the haulage right,
Right.
if we can get, you know, the trains working and all other forms of transportation that they can use, you know. So it's that's where the government comes in, because individuals will not really want. I mean, it's a lot of capital layout to want to do all that. So really, if we have, I tell people it's the value you have for human life that will propel you to put all those things in place. You know, I haven't lived in various cultures. You know, I've seen why some of these cultures or some of these places work. You know, it's not that they have more resources than we do, but simply because they place value on themselves. They place value on human life and human living.
Okay, yeah. That would lead me to the question she asked the other time. Like, maybe you didn't get to. She was asking if, aside from the food, there are other parts of agriculture, which is maybe rubber.
Yeah.
Wool, clothing.
And-
Like for instance, if you
Okay.
take pig, for instance,
Okay.
the skin, your lipstick,
Yeah.
your mascara,
Okay.
your leather bags, your leather shoes, they're made from even pig skin.
Height.
Do you understand? So they're different. I mean, what they do is that they take the leather, they use it for your shoes and bags, but they take the fat and they use it for your mascara, your lipstick,
Wow.
your hair.
I need to study more on that. That's a new one for me.
You know,
Okay.
we're trying to correct this mindset of people thinking there is no money in agriculture.
Oh, really?
So, and in a business, profit making is a key thing and an important factor to note in business. So how do you determine what aspects of agriculture would yield profits and money?
Well, a business plan.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to do a business without having a business plan.
Okay.
You know, and one thing about agriculture is you have to be a bit patient. You know, because it's a process. It's not trading as it is. You know, you go to Dubai, you buy something, you come to Lagos, you sell, you go back.
Next.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? No. It's a process. Do you understand? But you see, some of the richest guys today in North America are farmers.
All right.
They're farmers. Trust me. Some of the you have Nigerian farmers, because you said we don't put ourselves out there. We are not entertainment people, so you wouldn't know our bank balance.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We are not
Silent
out there.
millionaires.
But you have, you know, because you see, I gave you a figure. I just gave you, that's just Lagos State.
Yes.
If you're doing, some people are doing just a fraction of that every day in Lagos. I'll tell you, one of the farms, that farm makes, on a daily basis, makes 65 million naira.
65 million naira.
Okay.
Naira, every day.
Every day.
That is what he's reporting. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, he makes more.
In Nigeria.
More.
In
Nigeria. I'm going to consider farming as a side job.
you know, these are the kind of things that we don't want to put out there, because you see, because that is what will attract. But the truth of the matter is, this person has been in farming for 35 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's not a journey. It's not a 2-year journey.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right.
It's not a one, but it's consistency,
Okay.
you know, gradual, you know, and developing. And but the truth of the matter is that you will have peace of mind.
All right. Thank
Government
you so
policy,
much.
as long as you have your people are eating.
Yes.
I tell people, look, they are doing apps for everything.
Yes.
Yeah, Uber, there's app. This one, there's app. Now, can you do app when you are hungry? And you say, okay, let me touch my app and I will be full. No. You can't do app, so you have to produce food.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Well, this is still Tea or Coffee. Now we've been talking about Agripreneur.
Yes.
With us is Oshoke Williams, who is a serial entrepreneur and a farmer also. And he's been educating us on what we need to know about farming. And but this is where we draw the curtain on
Yes.
today's episode.
And I need to say something. Parents
Yes.
out there, you've heard it all. Please do not
Please.
stop your children from choosing farming as a path of career. You've heard it all. There's money for them to make.
And aside
there,
from
you know,
making money, you're imparting into lives.
into their
because
lives. Yes.
in the society, it said when food is out of a problem, then the problem is solved. You know,
hungry man is an angry
hungry man is an angry man. As
Yeah.
long as you're well fed.
then everyone
okay.
in society would be fine. and
All right. So
comfortable.
thank you so much for coming.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you for having me.
for the for the knowledge. Thank you. That's all we have on today's episode of Tea or Coffee. Join us tomorrow same time for another episode. Do enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Runke Ashiru.
And I am Buraola Pokwala. Till meet again. Bye.